my Yarnsters! How are you all doing today? I'm Teacher Nina and welcome to Yarn. I know you're all here because you love stories just as much as I do. Reading is one of my all-time favorite things to do. What about you? How often do you read? I love all kinds of stories. Stories about princes and princesses, stories about space and the universe, stories about magic and animals. You name it, I'll probably like it. I'm always on the lookout for great books to read and share with you. And I recently came across a series of books that are packed full of adventure and dragons. Nothing beats a great book that has dragons in them, especially dragons that can fly. The series is called the Farloft Chronicles. These books are written by a wonderful writer by the name of Theresa Snyder. I had asked Theresa to tell you a little bit about her books. Here she is.
Hello, my name is Theresa Snyder, and I am the author of the Farloft Chronicles. The Farloft Chronicles is a series of 6 books written for anyone 9 years or older who loves or has ever loved a dragon. The Chronicles are tales of adventure Farloft the Dragon has told me so that I might write them down for you to read. Please enjoy this little snippet presented here and look for my books on your favorite purchasing platform.
Thank you so much, Theresa, for allowing me to share a little bit of your great chronicle with my Yarnsters. I know they'll just love it to pieces. Here is a snippet from the second book from the Farloft Chronicles, Jay's Flying Lesson. I heard Jay shriek as he fell over the edge of the cliff. The shriek turned into a whoop of joy and a babble of laughter when his wings popped open and he started to soar. There is no experience quite as exciting as watching a fledgling dragon learning how to fly. I turned to Farloft and smiled. How is Jay coming along? Farloft drew his eyes back from Jay's silhouette in the sky high above.
He is doing very well considering his background. He had a late start.
The dragon apologized for Jay. Farloft and I were sitting on his favorite perch, a sunny spot on a slab of rock just above the mouth to his cave. I heard his nails bite into the stone below us and followed his gaze up to Jay as he tumbled willy-nilly out of the sky, half flying, half falling.
Feel the air,
Farloft said softly under his breath as he stared up.
Catch the wind.
Jay continued to first drift, then fall like a giant fat leaf in a stiff breeze.
Pop!
Farloft shouted at Jay.
Here comes the ground,
he warned. Jay struggled to right himself, his wings wrapped around him in a tangled mess. I heard Farloft's nails again, and his own wings started to lift. At that instant, one of Jay's wings caught the wind. It flipped him right side up, and the other wing came out. He missed a head-on collision with the ground by no less than 25 feet. Jay gave a cry of glee as he skimmed across the valley floor, brushing his iridescent green belly with hints of red on the tops of the tall grass. Farloft released his tension on the rock ledge and settled back into a sitting position, his wings falling gently back into place at his sides. Jay made a long, gradual turn and headed back across the valley toward the cliff face, gaining a bit of altitude as he approached us. I certainly wasn't going to be the one to tell Farloft, a dragon of over 1,000 years old, how to teach another to fly. But Jay's approach looked somewhat like a battering ram on its way to impact. Is he going to make it? I asked.
Nope,
Farloft stated flatly.
He has totally forgotten the warning I gave him about downdrafts.
I heard a growl from down below and leaned over the ledge just in time to see Jay hit the cliff wall head first and fall about 50 feet to the ground. Farloft didn't even move this time. He just shook his head in disappointment. I guess he didn't think a fall from that height would do much damage to the young dragon. Farloft! Jay called from below. I forgot the downdraft, he apologized. Farloft didn't repeat the obvious. He just sat there. Farloft? Jay called again. I don't think I can. Farloft grinned and looked at me. He's only done launches from the cliff. No ground recovery. Oh my, I said. This was going to be interesting. A young dragon weighs a lot, more than your farm wagon, fully loaded, and its team of oxen combined. It takes experience to get that kind of bulk up in the air from a flat surface. Farloft walked to the edge and looked down at Jay. Either you are going to have to walk up the mountain, or you will have to get the wind under you enough to catch air, he shouted. We spent the next hour watching Jay run across the ground, flapping his wings feverishly, trying to catch the air. By the time the sun was setting and I was ready to head for home, Jay had given up and was sitting despondently on a huge rock at the bottom of the cliff. He didn't want to give up and climb the trail up the mountain like we humans. Is there a trick to it? I asked Farloft as I rose to my feet. Yup, Farloft said with another toothy grin. You have to face into the wind. I mounted my horse and waved goodbye. I thought if Jay hadn't made it up by the time I passed him in an hour or so, I just might remind him of the secret of flight. Into the wind. Well, that's all from the Farloft Chronicles for now. Wasn't that exciting? Do you remember what it was like to learn to do something scary but amazing at the same time? Like riding a bike perhaps, or learning how to swim with your head underwater. That's what Jay must have felt like. I wonder if he'll be able to fly up the mountain all by himself. To continue reading amazing tales from the Farloft Chronicles, you can ask an adult to help you look for Theresa Snyder's books on any platform like Amazon, iTunes, or Barnes & Noble. I'll also have links on my website at YarnStoryFactory.com. Let me know what your thoughts on Theresa's books are after you've read them. Until next time, this is Teacher Nina. Happy reading, Yarnsters! Goodbye!